Spain were one of the laughingstocks of world football after shockingly being knocked out of the 2022 World Cup to Morocco in the round of 16. In the aftermath of this, Luis Enrique lost his job and Spanish under-21 manager Luis de la Fuente was promoted. In the 18 months since that appointment, he's won 2 major trophies and has turned Spain into the best international team in Europe. But just how has he done this? That's the question I'm going to be trying to answer in this video. If you do enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, because I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the transfer window. So firstly, let's take a look at that 2022 World Cup and outline Spain's problems. In the group stages, they started off with a 7-0 win versus Costa Rica. Things were looking very promising. Then a 1-1 draw versus Germany. Not a very good Germany side, but still a decent result. Their third and final group game, not so much of a decent result, a 2-1 loss to Japan, but nonetheless, they got out of the group. And in the round of 16, like we all know, they lost to Morocco on penalties. So just mentioning those facts, it looks like Spain had a bad World Cup, and they did. But statistically, they actually looked quite impressive. They had the highest average possession across the entire tournament with 76.8%, with the second being England on 63.6%, and they had the best pass accuracy at 90.9%. Just focusing on that specific game against Morocco, they had 77% possession, completed 3 times the amount of passes as Morocco, had a pass accuracy of 90%, had 7 more shots, yet somehow Morocco had 2 shots on target compared to Spain's 1. After that World Cup, it was clear Spain needed a change and had to move away from tiki-taka, so in comes De La Fuente. Things did not start off good between De La Fuente and the Spanish national team. There was a lot of controversy surrounding the fact he refused to call up Sergio Ramos, and he would also banish Dani Ceballos for bringing up club tensions in the international team. And in one of their opening Euro 2024 qualifiers, they had an embarrassing 2-0 loss to Scotland. His job was immediately under pressure, but he quickly saved it by winning the Nations League in June of 2023 after beating Croatia in the final. So in the months to come, tensions would start to ease. Spain, as you would expect, qualified for Euro 2024 automatically, and there was a little bit of hope going into the tournament. Although when the groups were drawn, Spain were drawn into Group B, the group of death, where they would face Albania, Italy and Croatia. Going into the Euro, Spain obviously wanted an improvement from the 2022 World Cup, so they needed to change something, and what was that change? Spain went from Enrique's 4-3-3 to De La Fuente's 4-2-3-1, and the most notable changes was that of the wingers. Enrique's main choices would have been Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo on the wing, while De La Fuente has gone with Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. These two sets of wingers are very different and represent both managers' style of play. Olmo and Torres were great players to keep the ball very possession heavy. They were able to create chances, they were able to move the ball quickly. However, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams are 2 players that are very able to attack, and I mean that in the sense they're more willing to take on players. They might lose the ball, but they might beat the man. De La Fuente wants his players to be able to penetrate other teams' defences, while Enriquez wants to break it down. So with this change being implemented, how did it work for Spain in Euro 2024? Like I mentioned, they were drawn into a very difficult group, and in the build-up to the tournament, no one really had Spain as favourites. They were maybe your 5th or 6th choice. Not many people were backing them to win the entire thing. But after their performance in their opening game, people's minds were changed as they battered a good Croatian side 3-0. Almost every single Spanish player looked impressive. They were the best team of the round. The next group stage game was against defending champions Italy, and Spain would get their revenge after being knocked out by Italy on the road to their win in 2020. And the final group stage game, Spain were already through. It didn't really matter, but they still ended up winning 1-0, beat Albania, 9 points. No other team across the entire tournament won every single group stage game. In the round of 16, they would face Georgia, and on paper that's a fairly straightforward tie, but Georgia have been a very good team in the tournament up until that match because Spain completely outclassed them. Although Georgia did take an early lead, Spain will win the game 4-1, having 35 shots, 13 of which were on target and 76% of the ball. On to the quarterfinals, the Spanish went, and the opponents this time would be much more difficult. Germany, the host nation, and probably being the second most impressive side at the tournament behind Spain. One of Spain's key players, Pedri, was taken off early in the first half after a really serious injury, which is obviously incredibly unfortunate. But there was a positive to take out of it, the fact the man that replaced him, Dani Olmo, was introduced earlier than expected and would give Spain the lead. Germany would make it level in the 89th minute from Florian Wirtz. The game would go to extra time, but not penalties, because Spain would win it thanks to a 119th minute header from Mikel Merino. Spain were through to the Euro 2024 semi-finals, but Dani Carvajal would miss it after getting sent off in the 126th minute. In the semi-final, they would play a France team that really hadn't performed at the tournament, but it seemed like they had finally arrived in the semi-final because they took the lead after 9 minutes thanks to Kolo Muani. Spain would quickly level the score though thanks to a beautiful worldie from Lamine Yamal that was arguably the goal of the tournament. He's just 16 by the way, and then 4 minutes after that Dani Olmo would score a second. Spain would win the game 2-1 and would advance to the Euros finals for the first time since 2012. And in the final they would face England, the team absolutely nobody wanted to win. I think it's fair enough to say anyone that isn't English was rooting for Spain. England had jammed their way through to the final. They'd struggled to beat teams that are worse than them. They did play well against the Netherlands in the semi-final, but for the most part Spain were by far and away the better team. They deserved to be in the final and they deserved to win it, and that is what would happen. Spain would take the lead almost immediately into the second half thanks to a goal from Nico Williams, poor defending from Kyle Walker. Gareth Southgate finally decided to give Cole Palmer a chance, and well, he delivered because he got the equaliser, a beautiful goal from outside the box. And then yet again, more poor defending from Kyle Walker would lead to an 86-minute winner for Spain from Arizabal. In the remaining minutes, there was obviously a bit of drama, as you would expect. England started to put on the pressure, and Dani Olmo cleared the ball off the line after a header from a corner. That would be England's best chance. They wouldn't convert, and Spain would be European champions for the 4th time. And you can't say it wasn't a deserved win. The best team won the entire tournament. They outplayed every single opposition they faced. Spain played the best and they beat the best. France and England were the 2 favourites for the tournament and they beat them. Italy, the former champions, they beat them, along with teams like Croatia, Albania, Georgia and Germany. And in every single game they looked impressive, and in every single game they looked like they were clearly the better team. Luis de la Fuente has made this team the best team in Europe. They've won 2 trophies in 18 months. Now they have 2 years to prepare for the World Cup in 2026, and because this is such a young squad, you feel like he can only make them better, and in 2 years time they may be clear favourites for the World Cup. But that is just hypothetically. One thing that is certain is they are Euro 2024 champions and the best team in Europe. But let me know what you think in the comments. What have you made of Spain's performances at Euro 2024? Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, shout out to all my channel members, and I will see you in the next one.